disclaimer, this video will be extremely harsh, and if you are a sensitive person or if you can't tolerate it, I suggest you to click out of this video right now. I know that you feel like you have failed at what you are doing, and this is not the first time. You have tried this countless times. You started doing it, and then after you feel like you don't have time to do it anymore, you just simply quit because it is more comfortable, right? But then don't forget that your entire future, your mom, your dad, your sister, and most importantly, your future self, they are all relying on you, and you don't want to let them down. These people have always been supporting you, and they know that you can do it. And you know it too, in the bottom of your heart, that you can do it. But you let those failures dictate who you are. Of course, you're gonna fail multiple times in the future. And if you're gonna give up now, then what about your future? Do you really think that you're gonna be strong enough to tolerate those pain? Think about it. You have gone through many horrible situations and hardships. 4 years ago, I was beaten by my dad, and I almost died. Like, seriously. He told me to get out of my room, otherwise he would shoot me or burn my room. At the time, I lived in a separate house, but it is still in my compound. But there's like a big house, and then like behind it there's like a small house. That's where I lived. And then he was on drugs. He was extremely high and stoned. At the time, he was having a conflict with my mom. So my mom, she decided to stay with my grandparents, and it had been like a few weeks. It was fine at first, but until the time that my dad, he could not tolerate the feeling anymore that, my mom would not want to come home. But it is in fact because of him. He's extremely abusive. He abused my mom, my sister, and the last one is me. The story that I'm about to tell you. I was sleeping, like it was 3 a.m. Then he suddenly cut off my AC cables, so it turned off, and then he also cut off their Wi-Fi cable, so I could not like contact with anyone using Wi-Fi, right? So I was in my room, and then 3 a.m. he knocked on my door, told me to get out of my room or he would shoot me or burn the room. And it is not a joke, like, because he has killed people before. It is not easy at all telling you guys this story because, it is my biggest trauma. So then he counted 3 seconds, and if I decided not to go out, I guess I could have been dead, because in my room there is no other ways to escape except the front door. That's it. So I opened the door, and then he just beat me up badly. Like, he kicked me, he like punched me, and just hit me with a a glass bottle, that I was bleeding a lot, from my nose, from my face. I got a bunch of like scars from my body. And then he told me like, your mom is not coming, and if she's not coming, I'm gonna kill you and your sister. And then he told me to wake my sister up. She was sleeping in their big house. It was 4 a.m. So I woke her up, and then I kept calling my mom, using my mobile data, and it took like almost an hour for her to pick up, which is understandable, like this 4:30 a.m. And I was really quite hopeless, defenseless, and fearful. Like, I could not escape from it. And the irony is that the household, my neighbor in front of my house, the opposite of my house, is a police officer, but he would not help me. And this is not like something from like 90s or anything. It is like 4 years ago. The reason why he did not help me, because like, because after that, after my mom picked up the call, and then she told my dad that she was heading here because she was so worried about me and my sister's safety. It takes around like an hour. No, it takes 2 hours to drive from like her state to my state. And then she was driving, and my dad just scolded at me like harshly, and he wanted to beat me so bad. And then during like those 2 hours, he just slapped my face like time to time. I was sitting in the kitchen with my sister. She was crying, seeing me getting hit. And I feel bad for her too, that she got to see that. But what I can do is just don't cry and just stay quiet, because you don't want to provoke my father's anger, right? Because otherwise things could have gone wilder. And then somehow I survived from it, and then I'm here. And I'm pretty sure that you have gone through some sort of loss or suffering, maybe loneliness, anything. It always comes, and you're gonna fail over and over and over again. But it doesn't matter, because what matters most is you don't give up. Even if you fail, just start again. At some point, you would get sick of the feeling that you always fail. You know that like you see the pattern. You know why you quit, right? So try to make it sustainable. Build a system that that would last for a long period of time. And you really must make sure about it, because if you're gonna quit again, then you indirectly reinforce the failing loop, and I know that you don't like that feeling, so this must be the time that you actually get out of the loop. And I know that you can do it. It's not that you have never tried. You tried, but the reason why it failed because you didn't know best. But this time, like after a bunch of failures, then now you know what to do, you know what to fix. And what most important is not watching these self-improvement videos, not like from me, not from others. Of course, like it might sound motivational, you know, but it doesn't matter if you don't take an action. Seriously. And don't underestimate those small actions because it accumulates over time. For example, if today you're still not confident about your speaking, then try recording a video for like a few minutes, every single day. And I don't think it is impossible for you to do that. Seriously, just like a few minutes, you can just talk about any topic that you would like to. Or if you want to learn a language, as I said, the key is consistency and sustainability. So you must start from you have to start from scratch, right? So don't overdo it since their starting point. Otherwise, you will feel burned out and you will be stuck in the same loop, and you don't want that. So start from a little bit, probably like practice like language learning like 10 minutes a day. That's enough. Like seriously, but you must be disciplined and you get locked in. So at some point you would feel like, oh, now like it is natural, so you can start increasing the time. It could be like 20 minutes and then like 30, 40, or like you can jump to like 30 at first and then an hour as you wish. So what I'm trying to tell you is consuming these self-improvement videos is not helpful if you don't take any action. You probably feel like, damn, I feel so hyped, I feel so powerful, my mindset is shifted. But if you don't actually apply it to your life, then it is meaningless. You can spool a bunch of brilliant and cool quotes, but if you don't actually act accordingly, then you're still the same person, the person who failed. And you don't want to live like that forever. But deeply, I know that you can do it. I just started this channel like a few weeks ago, and if you don't have friends, I'm here. You don't have to look at me like a stranger. I'm talking to you as like one of my friends, and I just want the best for you too. You have potential. That's why you are here. You're trying to be better. You're watching my video. You're watching like other self-improvement videos so that you can be better. You can be on the right track and use your skills to monetize. And I'm sure that you will make it. just be consistent and disciplined, then one day success cannot escape from you.